it's that time again, fellas. It's Olds review time. We're talking about half of the 32 coaches tonight. Everybody on one board. It's some craziness. National decks, every Pokemon on one board. It's extra craziness. We brought back all the broken cut moves. Everything that should never have been allowed to play with each other is all playing together. It's gonna be crazy. Heat is going to be the default, so who knows what I'm going to be looking for this season. But right now what I'm looking for is these two fellas right to my stage right over here. Who we got?
How did Draft get a Deoxys speed? I kept clicking on that white rock in Pokemon Sapphire and I could never get it. That Pokemon's mythical. It doesn't even exist.
Yeah, I don't even know what a Deoxys speed is.
There was never even a Gen 5 or 6 or 7, whichever one Volcanion is from. There was never even an event in the generation that it's from for it. It wasn't actually ever available until the next generation. So I don't know how he got any of these Pokemon.
All right, it's legal, and so is Volcanion. I don't even know what gen that's from. I wasn't playing Pokemon then, but I've returned.
Sixth or seventh, one of those.
Pokemon is for your 30s, as it turns out. Hi, I'm the Jordan coach of the Old Town Oranguru. I've never been wrong, except all the other times.
And I'm dad. I am coach of Beartick's absent daughter, and I also have never been wrong, which is crazy.
I like how your name is subtly shifting, Dad. It was like alcoholic dad, asshole dad.
To see, like half the time, I'm not even the one that changes it. I don't know who's doing it, but I like it, so it's sticking.
Papa makes moves in the shadows.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I hear we have some others joining in a bit, but we're all the knowledge and then some.
Yeah. So neither of you did any of the VBL-N seasons, correct?
I didn't know.
I filled in for the Little Cup.
You filled in the Little Cup season. Okay. Well, Little Cup is broken in different ways, as it turns out. I did all 3 of the VBL-N seasons. And our teams didn't look like this. That's for sure.
Well, help us out. What does a Volcanion do? Like, I assume it does everything, but it can't do everything, right?
It's got, like, good spread moves.
Steam Eruption.
It's broken in unique and interesting ways. It's got, this Crate wild typing water fire with a water immunity. And like a trillion base stats, right? Isn't it? Where's it at here on the?
Oh, so I'm checking. What's weird about the format is like it's Nat decks. We've got the mons you didn't expect, but if they weren't in Gen 9, they don't have Terra Blast. Volcanion was in Gen 9, even though it wasn't legal. So you can Terra Blast Fairy with this guy. So it's gonna be hella unpredictable. Yeah. And presumably it has a ground move, and then you're a ground type immune to water. And then the only types that can hit you are grass and ice, and then you have fire stab. It's just going to be really solid. The question is this team... obviously we have our bulk core. We have Wochie and Registeel. Glimora with Toxic Debris is going to be a major hassle. Is the offense there? Is it just not there because I don't know these Pokemon as well? It looks like it kind of has everything, but I'm wondering if maybe there's like a little bit of like limits to the attackers. Like if I can put 2 guys on Volcanion, Sylveon, and Garchomp apiece, and Garchomp can't Terra, then maybe I can handle it. I'm just trying to find like anything that stops this team short of being the complete package.
Yeah. There is. I do think there is enough offense, right? I mean, you've got Mega Garchomp. Even when it's not Terra'd, yeah. I mean, it's 170 when it's Mega'd. But when it's not, it's still whatever Garchomp's is, 135 or something like that, right?
Sure.
Volcanion with 2 great attack stats and the typing to make up for its bad speed stat. You've got, you still got Sylveon throwing it. Like everything on this team has spread damage. We've got earthquakes, we've got hyper voices, we've got heat waves, and whatever the water one is called. It does seem like a team that has lots of options available to it, and some Pokemon to take advantage of Wo-Chien, right? Electabuzz, kind of misleading because of its it's Eviolite, but like Sylveon next to Wo-Chien.
Oh, the numbers are huge there, yeah.
Yeah, is like
unkillable. And Slowpoke, yeah, remove Slowpoke, and then the numbers just jump up even higher.
Yeah, this team has ways to blow you up really quickly, and it also has ways to stall you out and kill you with toxic damage. I think that the team might struggle a little bit in Trick Room mode. We have the Slowpoke here, but I considered picking up Slowpoke a couple seasons ago, and I think I talked to Electric or somebody about it, and they mentioned that Slowpoke is a really good Trick Room setter. It'll get Trick Room up for you, but this team doesn't look like it really wants Trick Room up. 50 base speed is not terrible in Trick Room, but a lot of teams are going to be able to go slower than that. So it looks like this
Slowpoke by
team's going to
itself
want to
doesn't deter Trick Room. You're not happy about it unless Trick Room is winning you the game to bring Slowpoke.
Yeah,
right.
Apart from a couple of niche things.
I have trouble believing that a team with Deoxys speed and 121 base speed Tailwind option want to ever be in Trick Room.
It's definitely not the priority of this team. You just want to be able to defend against it. And so we have taunts, we have presumably phasing moves. Like, does Torrentee have Whirlwind? Give me my encyclopedic knowledge here. I don't know. I assume we have ways to stop it, and it's hard not to think that Braff got 4 wins with a totally random team with 6 water types. So this team has way too many tools. I just wonder. I wonder if we're a little bit so obviously we can point out we're not
miscalibrated
fighting in Trick Room.
Right, we're coming off of Daddy Plan Season 2. We've been in these lower power formats a lot lately, right? It was a low tier, then a Daddy Plan, then a Daddy Plan Part 2. We've been in relatively lower power stuff. I feel we might just be miscalibrated, and so we're seeing, Hariyama plus Sylveon plus Garchomp plus Wo-Chien, and we're thinking it's that's crazy. But if every team has that, this might be the average. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, you're going to put this on the tier list. I'm not going to put this on the tier list until I see 1 or 2 more teams. I presume this is going to be an above average team. It looks very, very versatile.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna put it in B tier. Assume it's average, and that we're just going to be impressed with all the teams, and I'll make some adjustments as we go.
I kind of agree. I think it looks like a really good team, but I think we're going to see a lot more really good teams. So it's tough.
Yeah. The whole screen, Deoxys speed, screens, Mega Garchomp, Swords Dance, or Sylveon Calm Minds, you blow something away, and then you got Registeel in the back. Feels like the game plan. There's not a ton of other synergy, but the numbers are all there. I presume that Braff will do great with the team, but in a vacuum, it's maybe slightly above average. We'll see, but compared to what? What's next?
Yeah,
that's what I'm interested to see here. So next up, we got Sly, who is a veteran of many a National Dex draft. I know he does.
Remember Dracovish?
Yeah, next to Mega Tyranitar that can reset the sand by Mega Evolving. So doesn't even bring in your slower sand setter, doesn't even matter. Just gonna reset it again on a Mega Evolve. Genesect, big numbers, could stand to be faster. I used Genesect actually in one of the Nat Deck seasons. My thought when using it was always, man, I wish it was faster. I feel like I have to run a Choice Scarf or get it in a perfect position with Tailwind up or something like that. But we've got a pretty good Tailwind setter. We've got Rage Powder. I think there's definitely some tools here. This is a sand team though, right? For sure. I've
never been much of a sand man, but obviously the team has more than that. I wonder, so Genesect should be nuts, right? If you get the right download boost. Electric hates Tyranitar, but he tells me Mega Tyranitar is significantly better. So I'm gonna take his word for it as somebody with more Natex experience than me, that these numbers are so eye-poppingly ridiculous that maybe you can deal with the fact that you can't Terra, can't have a Chople Berry, etc. And then Dracovish, when we have Tailwind, when we have a potentially great Trick Room setter, and we have the sand mode. We have ways to get this guy going first, and that is like a centerpiece threat. Like the Fish's Thread is very stupid. It never stopped being stupid, and now it's back.
Yeah, and when the T-Tar goes down, we have redirection coming in the back. We have hospitality to, get that Dracovish back up to full, to get the Genesect back up. Genesect and Dracovish cover for each other really well as switch-ins, sharing 0 weaknesses and resisting each other's weaknesses. Like those 2 as your offensive centerpieces, with Mega T-Tar setting the sand for you, and then Sinistra coming in the back. Those 4 alone are such a solid bring, like most weeks.
Yeah, and we have our first example as well of double megas, right? We've got Mega Tyranitar, Mega Slowbro. Perfectly conceivable that you would want to bring both megas to a match, right? But basically, anytime you do bring Mega Slowbro, it's going to be that's the one that's going to mega type situation, So.
Hey, well, that's the tricky thing about Slowbro is not. Hey, Sukaba, real quick, what the heck do I make of a Mega Slowbro? I'm not gonna taunt it, right? Because if it doesn't a Mega, then it's got taunt immunity. But then if I'm just gonna hit it, like Mega Slowbro doesn't seem to die. Like look at that 180 defense stat. So it looks like it's conceivably a good Pokemon, even if it doesn't Mega, even if it comes with the same game as Mega Tyranitar, even if it comes in the 6th, but then isn't in the same game plan as Mega T-Tar. So it seems reasonable, even though, they won't, neither of them are going to have an item, and then you won't be able to use both items at once, but seems like great contributors to a team that's already got several good contributors. So, hi, Sukaba, tell us about yourself, and tell us if you know these Pokemon, because we don't.
Hello, I am Sukaba. I just spent 40 minutes cleaning a litter box, and now I am here to talk Pokemon. And what do you know? Genesect, hello, my beloved. I remember using this thing on the ladder back in when I used to play Pokemon VGC in 2015, 2014, 16, that era. I love it. I think it's so good. I just think all the mythicals are honestly so cool. And I really think a lot of coaches targeted those maybe with this draft just because how often do you get to use them, right? When you see the Genesect, you think of it kind of like a scissor where, it has that 4x fire weakness, but it's really strong. Download's great. You got Elite Tailwind for it. You got the Sand mode with the Dracovish to worry about. You got Redirection and Sinistra. I really like the top half of this team. I kind of caught the tail end of what we're thinking about Mega Slowbro. And I think, I think megas that have a unique twist where it's okay, well, I don't have to click the mega button yet, and I have a really great ability, and it's a mind game in and of itself. Am I going to mega before I set Trick Room or after? And I think that adds a lot of value to those megas, like the ones like Salamence that have Intimidate before, or Metagross with Clear Body, some ability before the mega button that adds value. So I like the Mega Slowbro as a value mega on this board. I like the team. That's my 1 minute summary.
Cool. I'm gonna share my concern. What's that, JDB?
Oh, I was just gonna say, so far we're basically 2 for 2 on these seem like very good teams, and how are we gonna what?
Yeah.
These coaches.
We're gonna have to raise our standards to the ceiling here, right?
Yeah,
so sand teams tend to have shared weaknesses. They tend to be physical dominant, and you see some of these late picks. I mean, I guess Piloswine won't be intimidated, but Cinderace is not really gonna get to do what it does that well. I imagine when you're already bringing Intimidate for the other guys. Kilowattrel is not actually a special attacker because it's terrible. Pokemon just absolutely never fails to disappoint. So I'm wondering if we're a little bit biased in ways that we're going to be weak to Burns and Intimidate. Is Genesect by default a mixed attacker because you want to be able to take advantage of the download boost regardless of which one you get? Maybe there are some special attackers here. Mega Slowbro, obviously, we have a 130 that we're sometimes going to use. But maybe that's the weak point of the team is the typical shared weak points and physicalness of... And obviously, this physical attack stat doesn't include the fact that Dracovish's actual attack stat is a bajillion.
It's a trillion. 300 or something.
Yeah, so... Yeah. I mean, that said, Lycanroc Rock Slides will steal games. And we have, and Volbeat and Sinister are really going to help you like not have to play the rules of the game. You're not going to have to take hits sometimes, so that's going to be good. The team's going to be good. I'm thinking I might like Braff slightly better, even though both of these teams look really scary.
But yeah,
This is impossible.
I know
They're both so good.
Yes, Mega Slowbro body press is wild. I mean, you can basically just think of all the megas as like, the item that I have is I get 100 base stats item.
It's a good item.
Like in relevant places, right? Every mega is
Usually.
juiced.
Well, so body press is not like an auto win button. Like I have used Stack Attacka, and like even with its 200 base defense, it's like you would like to be able to stab or to Terra fighting, and Mega Slowbro can't do that. So I'm gonna say it's good, but like it still needs an iron defense. It's not a cheat move. It's just another move it has that's good.
All right, let's get this one on here. All right, 2 teams in, and I'm already ready to move Braff up one whole tier. Who we got third here? We got the return of Camo Dude, the Pittsburgh Piplups, Mega Latias, Stack Attacka, Rillaboom, War Turtles, Crafty, Aromatisse, Howlagent, Typhlosion, Hisui, Toxtricity, Strudel, and Thievul. Haven't seen Thievul do anything for a long time because it's not in this generation, but we brought them all back, so Thievul gets to come back.
It's Unburdened Snarl, the Pokemon. There's not much else going on.
Leave it to the olds to point out the 3-pointer first out of all these options on the team.
Some things are true. Well, I'm going to say, like, we're going to be talking about Megas the whole time. Yeah, no, the third Unburdened Pokemon. Yeah. Very important to the overall game plan. So I think with Megas, we're going to be talking a lot about the lack of item slot and the lack of Terra. But Mega Latias, it looks great, and Sukaba's going to definitely tell me it's great, but I'm thinking a Latias with an item might be better. Like, the ability to run AV, Scarf, Sash, Cloak, there's just so much the item gives you.
That's all fun and good, but have you considered numbers? The number is big. Yes. Listen, I think we complicate this game too much. Big numbers with synergy is a winning formula. I think that's like been my philosophy drafting for a while now. Was like, if something has big numbers and it's like reasonably good and I could fit it into the team, it's gonna be good. And like, if your numbers are better than the other person's numbers, that's enough sometimes. And like, I feel like Mega Latias benefits from the heightened offense. Doesn't it get an offense boost here?
Yeah, a lot. It's special attack of 140, so I assume it's probably like a 20 or something like that.
But you're dropping an
kind
item.
of a weak.
You're dropping an item for it, but I'm clicking the item every week anyway that gives me these stats. You know what I mean? Like, it's an opportunity cost, and I think that, you know, if you build the team around it, you know, yeah, you could focus on the, okay, it's not going to Terra, let me lead my bug move, let me lead my, you know, fairy move that it can't Terra out of, and I don't know, like, I feel like it's only one aspect of the game here. We got 10 other Mons on the team. That being said, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the way the team panned out after the first 3 picks. I feel like we have a bit of redundancy, like with the War Turtle and the Scrafty, right? Like, I get War Turtle's redirection and Scrafty is Intimidate Fake Out, but I don't really like that they both, like, I feel like you don't need both necessarily. I feel like a lot of these
a number of these mons are like bulky, but I would have liked a little bit more hustle.
And like a lot of these like supportive damage dealers are just like absurdly frail, right? Like you got the Halucha with the Grassy Seed is nice, but like it's not really saving you from like a Thunderbolt. You know what I mean? The Typhlosion Hisui, it's great, but Sucker Punch really, you know, is a problem for it. And Sucker Punch also pretty good into the Mega Latias that can't Terra, maybe. Toxtricity is really frail. Like, I think this team's going to struggle a lot because, like, its supporting pieces are just going to get KO'd before they could do their damage. But, obviously, the potential is great with these top 3. I love the top 3 together. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Just think about how high our standards have been. We have a Torn T setting Tailwind with a Deoxys Speed on the first team. We have a Prankster Tailwind on the next team. Like, frankly, Halucha having Tailwind's cool for Natdex, but it and Latias are not going to cut it as your enablers for the big spread move button of Typhlosion and Toxtricity. This teams are going to get faster Mon into KO with Earthquake. Like, even through, like, if you bring the Cloak, like, obviously this team's got 3 premium fake outs, but that is very, like, makes Cloak very attractive. This team doesn't have the hustle at the level that we need to be at, and I think the bulk is not going to save it against the big numbers that the other teams could be bringing. So I feel like this team's a little bit lacking in a couple areas, but I think the tools are definitely there, and Camo's a veteran coach, so we'll see what they do with it. But I'm thinking this team's going to end up maybe C, maybe low D. That's where I'm thinking.
Yeah, it does have a pretty compelling trick room mode that can kind of, I mean, Stack Attack is kind of a one-mon trick room mode in that it can set its own trick room.
Mm-hmm.
And Aromatisse giving taunt immunity to it and Stack Attack are very good.
It is a great supportive trick room setter as well.
100%.
You got plenty of good fake out to support getting your trick room set up right.
They are slow fake outs though. We could just fake out faster.
True. There are definitely.
Or you can just encore the fake out, sadly.
Yeah, encore the fake out, unless the Aromatisse is in.
Oh, good, nice one, Camo.
Yeah. But so I agree that there's like, how are you taking advantage of some of this like premium offense in the form of Megaladius is somewhat undercut by a lot of the rest of the team and not having super clear answers to that. But I do like that there is this whole other thing that has to be respected in Stack Attack specifically, and a slot in trick room mode more broadly. So,
I feel like this team's identity is not the Megaladius, but it's actually the Stack Attacker, right? Like, I think that's the Mon that is going to win this team games more often.
Yeah, Stack's good. I had my worst season of all time with Stack Attack because I got random focus blast by a Clefable. So just watch out for that, Camo. But like, yeah, it seems you have a ton of protection, ton of bulky Mon, so Stack Attack
redirection,
will out there on its own.
Grassy terrain, fake out, intimidate. It's really good.
It'll be good. We'll see how good it is in Gen 9.
All right, flying through these. We're averaging 5 minutes per team. Oh, it's Mega Salamence. All right,
I'm about to drop a hot take.
But broken.
I'm about to drop a hot take.
Drop it.
Get ready for my hot take here. I think any Mega that has a 4x weakness is bad. That's my hot take.
Bad's a little reductive, but
I think it's straight up bad. Like, I don't know. I mean,
hottest take.
I'm most like, obviously it's not bad, right? Like, it's really good. But I really think that's going to be the identity of like how this coach is going to have to maneuver around this, because like when you have something like a Mega Salamence or like a Mega Charizard Y that is coming every week, you built your team around it, and it has a 4x weakness. It's like you have to be prepared every single week for Rock Slide on the lead, Ice Beam on the lead, Icy Wind on the lead, Blizzard on the lead. Like, it's happening every single time, right? And like, does this team have the tools to deal with that? Yeah, right, it does. It's got Illumise for the faster Tailwind. If you don't want to risk your Salamence getting hit, you could hit a fat Hyper Voice, get some damage down. It's got Heatran, right, to deal with those potential Terra Ices or something weird. But at the same time, I think it adds such like a difficult obstacle that like it almost, I don't want to say cancels out, but like I think it impacts how good the Mon has been historically, because obviously Mega Salamence in its heyday was a Titan, right? But that's also when in an era where every Mon couldn't just randomly say, oh, I Tire Blast Ice, boom, you're dead, right? Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be challenging to play around that. But that being said, I like the pieces that they got around it.
Yeah, Heatran has like a great switch in.
I mean, is Terra Blast, Terra Ice the same as Hidden Power Ice? No, because you're getting
maybe not.
You're getting the stab boost. It's a higher base power move. Like, it is more, but like it survived the hidden power that people brought for it all the time.
I think I agree with what Tsukaba's saying a little bit. When you put 24 points into this Pokemon, it essentially has to come every week, and you're gonna have Ice Beam coverage on your team, so you're bringing it. So it's kind of dangerous, right, to be spending all these points on these Pokemon. They are really, 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 really good, but it's exploitable, and there's no way to just click a get out of jail free card button like you can with Gen 9 Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. And to add to that, it's like the worst part about it is that your opponent knows you can't do anything about it. That's the difference. Like, if you're drafting regular Salamence, it's like, oh, I'm Terra Steel. Like, oh, I'm Terra Fire. Like, that's the mind game that your opponent has to deal with before they click Ice Beam. I think the fact that you can't Terra at all and your opponent knows it, and that you can't be holding a Sash, you can't be holding a Yash Berry, like, I think that adds a element to the battle that is going to make it difficult to deal with. That being said, maybe Salamence just lives the Ice Beam. I mean, look at the stats on this thing. 95, 90, like, you got to have pretty strong, special attacker.
I don't think it's living the Ice Beam.
Maybe not.
I think people are calculating it
So
too,
it's
right?
120 speed, right? Like 145 attack. Like, it's hitting hard.
I'm both agreeing with y'all and a little annoyed that people push back when I complained about the same things on Mega Latias, and then Mega Salamence is objectively a stronger Pokemon.
No. But see, Mega Latias doesn't have a 4x weakness, so that's what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. But like, let's talk about the overall team's identity, which is that it hits hard, it hits fast. It's like a random offense. Go. And that's really, really good. I actually believe that is a good team archetype. And we, as like people looking at teams and ranking teams, tend to overfocus on like obvious synergies, like weather and terrain and Trick Room. And I don't want to say the like this team's bad to get into Trick Room, because that's like a little reductive. I think you can usually find ways to play around Trick Room, but the Trick Room weakness is actually inexcusable here. Like, Mr. Mime is being asked to work overtime for this team as the only fake out, as the only Trick Room. You're not going to be setting Trick Room, but it'd be nice to threaten Imprison or to threaten Reverse Trick Room, and to be your Follow Me at the same time. Like, give somebody else, get a random Uxie or something so that Mr. Mime can be not the centerpiece of the team. It is not meant to be that. So I think the team is incredibly good at going first and taking big hits, Aerial Ace and Spectrier and Heatran, but the Trick Room weakness is such an issue that it really threatens the team's identity and what it wants to be doing.
Yeah, I think if the team goes fast, it's OHKOing a lot of stuff. It has the numbers to do that. But if you're able to set up Trick Room, I agree. There's not a lot this team can do about it.
Yeah, so I was just doing a quick check here. Looks like we've got Roar and Dragon Tail as phasing options, but Dragon Tail only on Mega Salamence. That's not what you want your Mega Salamence doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're getting your opponent to click that on Mega Salamence, that's a W right there.
Yeah, that's a free Ice Beam, right?
And honestly, Roar is not necessarily what you want your Heatran to be doing either.
You almost have too much offense. You almost never hear me say that, but you can cut one of these random OHKO machines because you have multiple. You really do have so much offense. You can trade one to me, and then meanwhile get a Trick Room defensive mon, a mon that's not bad when it's. Yeah.
Get rid of the Barraskewda. What is that thing doing here?
It's just another extremely fast Pokemon with
it just dies.
Attacking stat above 120.
I guess it gives you like a little hidden rain synergy with Illumise and Xurkitree, maybe this is a thought process, but I agree. Dump it.
I'd almost rather you cut the Barraskewda and grab like something slow. There's a lot of stuff in 7 that's pretty slow.
Or maybe even Xurkitree or Spectrier. I feel like you probably don't need both of those.
Yeah, Spectre, I kind of think on this team is going to be Snarl and Will-O-Wisp because we need defensive pieces more than we need offensive pieces.
Support a lot more than fast nuke. Yeah, totally.
Or better yet,
for me, an average team, but is the team that immediately jumps into like high A as soon as they fix their Trick Room weakness, and like they give just a little bit more support than Mr. Mime, and so it can be just like a follow me.
What if you cut the Illumise on the Spectre and you grab Sableye and another slow attacker? And then you have Quash to deal with Trick Room. You've got Screens to live through the hits. You got
Sableye is a little power crept at this point, right?
It's got Encore.
But yeah, Illumise does too. And I just think it'll give yourself a random good Pokemon that is not terrible when it's just threatening to reverse Trick Room, like an Azelf or a Gallade or stuff like it does its own thing, but it at least means like I have some control about whether or not I'm losing in Trick Room or winning in Fast Mode. Hell yeah, this team is high octane gaming.
So yeah, this is a I'm gonna win or lose on turn 3, but it might take 4 more turns for that to actually happen type of team. So if mons that are, I'm gonna go back to Mega Salamence for a second. Mons that are gonna be tearing into Terra Ice for Terra Blast to kill the Mega Salamence. We've got a Heatran to deal with Terra Ice and like stuff like that, but kind of nothing else, right? Orthworm like sure, I guess, but not realistically. Tauros Blaze, I guess maybe, but you know, what are you not bringing to bring Tauros Blaze, right?
I want to believe that Lurantis is a Pokemon, but it's not actually. Sorry.
Yeah, this is not a low tier season. Lurantis is not coming, and if it is, your opponent is thrilled. So I just don't. I'm not 100% certain where I'm going with the how are we dealing with the Terra Ice once it's Terra Iced, because Ice is a pretty bad type anyway. So
yeah, I think you're more worried about the random
killing Mega Salamence and then getting out of the way.
Yeah.
So who cares?
You're less. Maybe I overstated. Like I think you're less worried about Terra Ice, Terra Blast, although it is an option. You're more worried about the million mons that get Ice Beam as coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heatran's gonna be great though.
I think we have a good.
Give some backbone to the team.
I think we're in agreement that this feels like a high risk, high reward kind of situation where it's like the team will fail spectacularly sometimes and it'll work sometimes and just dominate, right? And it's maybe high variance. And for me, I think it's good enough to be high B.
Yeah, I think there's some points in the wrong spot in Spectrier. Like this could be a different Pokemon when you already have Xurkitree, you already have a Prankster support mon. You've already got super fast, explosive offense in the form of Mega Salamence. Like, what is Spectrier actually bringing to your team?
Nara Will-O-Wisp. It's actually kind of a good utility
mon. Sure, but like you have, my point is more, there is other, like, not those supportive options specifically, but like, you know, you've got Light Screen on Illumise, no Reflect, because move distribution.
It's not the best use of 15 points. That I would agree with you, JDP, if that's all it's doing. Yeah.
It's like, these 15 points could be, you know, spread out amongst 3 other Pokemon, or
yeah, I don't disagree.
You could have a Snorlax. Snorlax is undrafted and give you a Trick Room defense.
There you go. See?
No.
I'm just saying. Spend some of these Spectre points somewhere else. Make some upgrades or something, and I think this team gets a lot better. I think it's a plausible, passable team that could be S on a different kind of board, but just is not in this case. Where's the Snow Point? Capybaras. There we go. I think this is the lowest. This is maybe a C tier team so far. 4 teams.
Still good. Still a good team.
We'll see what happens. Have fun with it, Forrest.
Okay, so now this.
The best team.
Okay,
this team needs to set the sun and set Tailwind and kill everything before it eats rock slides and random water moves. That's the only way.
Nah, this is it. Is it?
I think that's what you're gonna have to hope for.
I mean,
Turtonator is gonna carry a lot of weight on this team.
What, as like the only thing that can live a hit?
The only thing that can block rock slides, which you're gonna be facing.
Oh boy,
I mean, every week.
Yeah, this is a. Listen, as somebody who went monotype a couple seasons ago, it's rough out here. You know, unless you're Steve, it's really hard to win with one type on the whole team. And I actually found that like I didn't really enjoy that season very much just because of how limiting it was. I thought it would be more fun and more of a challenge, but maybe that's because I'm bad. It could just be a skill issue. And maybe Keith is about to pop off with this Terrifier and the automatic Sunsetter, and when you press the Mega button, it's good. Like, yeah, like the numbers are big on some of these things, right? Like the Charizard, the Iron Moth hits hard. I don't know. I'm not a believer. I'm sorry.
This is
I can't.
We're definitely gonna say like very real that the 10 rock weaknesses, 9 water weaknesses. That's just that comes with the territory and is a big problem.
Yeah.
But if you know that, as no doubt Keith does, it seems like he built the team to try to not have to play defense, right? The Talonflame is a really good start, and of course, like if you're gonna pick a monotype, like being able to reset Sun is like is gonna be one of the biggest boosts you could give a team. Period. And to have speed boost, to have extreme speed, to have fake out, to have redirection. He has ways to say, look, I know I can't take a hit, but at least I'm gonna sometimes not have to, and sometimes be able to redirect or do what I need to do, because the damage is definitely there. I think Arcanine Hisui is like the key offensive piece here, because like Terra Fire is going to come every week, and you need to be able to head smash that. You need to be able to do some Intimidate to try to live a hit or two. But the team will be incredibly strong if it gets to move, and it looks like Talonflame's going to enable that. But going to be real rough.
And to be fair, when the sun's set, water's not a weakness anymore, right? For all but one of these Pokemon, so...
Is it just Edgequake every single time? Like, I guess we have a Wide Guard, but I don't really think Turtonator, inspires that much. Yeah. I mean, Incineroar's good. We have double Intimidate, right?
So
we kind of sort of have a defensive profile.
I'm thinking this seems like a team. It's Keith's plan a lot of weeks is going to be, we're going to trade 1-for-1 every turn, but I'm going first, so I'm going to get the last kill before you can. Is I think gonna be the plan, right? And it's gonna be supported with the Gale Wings Tailwind, with the Drought to live water moves, with Incineroar cycling Intimidate and Fake Out. There's moves to be made here, right? Scovillain going first one week and killing something with a good Terra type or whatever. Scarf Harkonine killing something with a Rockhead head smash, Blaziken speed boosting and close combating. There is, more or less every Pokemon here can do an important thing on a draft. It's just, a lot of it seems like there's a lot of fire types on this team is what I'm saying. It's kind of what I'm getting at now.
You could say that. It's definitely it's a hot team for sure. I don't know.
This team lost access to Chandelure. There's no real Trick Room setter here. Marowak's not really going to get to do its job if every single Pokemon has moves that are strong into it and outspeed it. But the rest of the team, we are hitting hard, we're hitting fast, we're boosting most of our moves with Drought. So I feel like we can get wins. So, the team might edge out one or two other teams.
Yeah,
maybe.
The other two monotypes, maybe.
Maybe. Well, it seems like it's not far away from some of the other teams, despite the obvious weaknesses.
No, I don't agree with that. I think it's really far away. These are really good teams we're looking at. I mean, you can't... I don't know. I just think it's too much of an exploitable weakness to, there's only so much prep you could put in to, counter the fact that your whole team is weak to one thing, and your opponent knows it. And that being said, as an opponent of this, you can't get tunnel vision and be like, oh, I just win if I click rock move, right? But it's that in addition to your normal team building gives the opposing coach a significant advantage in prep every week. Can't be higher than D for me.
Yeah, it's
I think the team will earn C tier, but yes, it's the lowest one for sure.
Every spare slot, you just put Rock Slide on because every Pokemon gets Rock Slide. I mean, that's reductive, right? Well, not the every Pokemon gets Rock Slide part. Every Pokemon gets Rock Slide, but put it on every Pokemon part is a little reductive, right? Because sometimes you're going to put Surf on it instead, because every Pokemon learns Surf in that dex, and sometimes you're going to put Earthquake on because every Pokemon learns Earthquake in that dex. But
gonna be an issue. We'll see how they navigate around.
I'm excited to watch the games. It's gonna be a movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. All right. Pancake Mix, the Paldea Pancakes, Mega Diancie. This thing kills everything. I haven't
Speaking
used
of tricky Mega,
Poppin has, and it's just. I mean, it kills everything. You can't.
Flash Cannon has entered the chat.
Yeah, it's wild, and we've got good. We've got to follow me for it, right? Can take the steel moves. Can take the water type moves. Fine. Doesn't necessarily want to take the poison type moves, but generally speaking, right? Mega Diancie's going to get to do some stuff next to an Ogerpon. And then we've got this pretty powerful set of Trick Room Mons here. We've got a decent cheap support in Morgrem. Your fastest Pokemon is Noivern. It's gonna, if you're doing fast mode, maybe you're leaning on Neuvern a bit more than you would like to, and you do have the prankster support as well. But Ursaluna, we've both used Ursaluna Sakaba. I think we're more or less in agreement that it's you kind of have to be perfectly positioned with it, or
It sucks.
yeah, or it sucks.
I hate it.
Oh, you
It
just
seems
hate it.
pretty good. I mean,
No,
like,
it's like
sorry.
the problem is it's like it would be fine if you didn't have such high expectations for it when you draft it. It's like you're like, oh my god, this thing's like a monster, and then you bring it and it like randomly dies to like a woodhammer or like anything, and then like you can't get it going because you need a turn to get the guts off, and it's like you want to click earthquake, but then your Cresselia died, and now you have something next to it that you have to protect, and then it's like it's just like awkward. It's awkward to use in draft, right? I mean. That's not, but I like that this team isn't like an Ursaluna team necessarily, right? It's like a pretty good team with options with an Ursaluna on it, which I think adds value to the Mon. Whereas when I drafted it, I was like, yeah, this is an Ursaluna team. I'm going to click Earthquake and kill shit. But this team seems like it's well positioned to do a lot more than that. I feel like this team's identity is Trick Room a lot of times with really good options as a mix-up for like this team can randomly like just lead like Neuvern and Diancie and just sweep you, right? Like you're ready for the Cresselia lead and the Heart Flame, and then you just die to like Mega Diancie. I think Mega Diancie's really strong actually. I know I said earlier that any 4x weakness is like bad, but like Steel is not as common of a coverage as most of the other ones that are 4x weak. It is an issue because Terra Steel is really good a lot of times anyway. So slapping on a Terra Blast into this thing when you know it can't resist the hit is going to be rough for it. But I like that with Mega Diancie, this is another one of those megas like Slowbro where when you click the Mega button matters a lot, because Diancie as a Mon before it Megas is really defensive, right? It kind of swaps the defense and offense stats. So you kind of get to pick when in the match you want to activate the offensive mode, whereas, you know, maybe you want to set a Trick Room with it and wait, or you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit of a mind game, which I think adds to it a lot. I like that this team is not just one mode and go, right? Like you have a lot of options here and a couple really strong modes. So I'm a much higher on this team than most of the other 4x mega teams that we're going to look at.
Definitely the variety is there. Our ability to go fast and our ability to play Trick Room's obviously really good. And I think Morgrim will sometimes help a bulk-oriented game plan, and just giving Mega Diancie that one turn to Calm Mind and then become Mega Diancie and sweep. I think that's like the general game plan. You want to like click a Diamond Storm, get a defense boost, and then sweep everything. Like the offense is really here. I did run a ladder team with Ursaluna and Vikavolt and Oranguru, of course, as like a telepathy spread move madness type thing, and it really does work. Like the earthquakes and the discharge and the telepathy Neuvern. I see you, Pancakes. This will be a very fun team, and I love that it really does not seem dependent on a particular mode of operating. Like Ogerpon is sometimes just being a meat shield and is sometimes being a destroyer of worlds. I do think.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, Aegislash can be a defensive piece, and it can like clean up, like with Swords Dance, Shadow Sneak, or Cresselia can be the win con sometimes. And so like the team just seems really versatile. This is what I want out of a NatDex team.
Also, by the way, is Bronzor just the best one-pointer now that it actually gets a real move? Doesn't it get like a random attack move now with NatDex?
What does it get?
I think Jace talked about it in their video. It's like something like really niche and weird, but it like actually lets it do damage.
It's like seismic toss. So it's something. Yeah, it's like Nightshade. It's whatever.
Like I think for 1 point you could do a lot worse. That being said, like a little bit of role clash with Cresselia, right? I think you'd rather just have Cress a lot of the time. But
what do we got here?
What's it called, Jordan?
Well, Psywave is like seismic toss, but it's sometimes 25 to 75 damage.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the one.
Whatever. It's weird.
Hey, that's better than what it could do before, right? Which is absolutely nothing. And I like it with the Ursaluna though, because you can. It's interesting because it's slower than it, so it could set Trickin for it and then also support it. Whereas Cresselia is going to be moving after it. So it definitely adds a little bit of dynamics there. And I think for 1 point you could do a lot worse. It's really bulky. But yeah, I'm a fan of the team. I like it. You know,
I think there are better teams we're gonna find, so I'm gonna not put this one in top tier. I think there's like a little bit like lack of like some of the utility that I would have liked, or a little bit of the synergy. You can have both huge strength and huge synergy in a couple of these teams, and this team is more just huge strength and huge options.
Yeah, this team also notably only has like four and a half mons doing all the damage, I feel like, right? Like the Diancie, the Heartflame, the Ursaluna, maybe like the Vikavolt and the Aegislash share some of those responsibilities, and like everything else is I'm not really respecting.
I would say
I'm going to call out the Noivern Superfang into any of these other attackers is a KO, though.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I view this. Yeah.
These three are each like 60% of an attacking Pokemon. So, you know, you get like almost 2 Pokemon's worth of attacking out of these 3 Mons. But yeah, I see your point, right? It's basically like, here's your 3 type situation that are doing.
I think they can carry the load, though. They can carry the load for sure. I'm excited to see it. 8 tier.
Yeah. I do kind of wish there was like a real water type on this team.
Yeah, I don't know what Toxipic's doing. Not coming to matches for the most.
It's never coming.
Yeah,
is what it's doing.
Not with all of these real Pokemon, plus Bronzor. But, you know, it's not necessarily that there's like a hole that a water type is filling, like, you know, plugging a weakness or like shoring up a matchup, but it's just so nice to have one that can do stuff that not really having one is kind of a bummer. And there's a ton of water types, so I'm sure there's one that could be, you know, a move could be made, but, you know, it's also not the end of the world, right? So, I don't know, just a thought.
To A tier with it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Where is it? There it is. It's at the end. I do think I like Raph's team better. I like that it wasn't just, all the Natdex teams are great, and it turns out actually Raph's is fine. I do like that we started off impressed, and we're kind of right to be impressed.
Yeah, we calibrated, but we're still impressed, so that's good.
Yeah.
Hi, Rock. Welcome back, Rock.
Welcome back. The oldest coach in the league. What do we got here? A very expensive support, which is a man after my own heart, although I lose a lot, so maybe, you know, there is that.
It's a little expensive.
I think it's hard to get 20 points of value, but it'll definitely help.
It's good. It's good.
Mega Medicham actually kind of feels like a centerpiece here. Like I usually tend to look at teams by looking at the strongest attacker, and 100 power with a doubling on that is absolutely absurd. And so Whimsicott makes sense if Mega Medicham is in your crosshairs, as I think it should be. And also the fact that sometimes we're going to be Zoroark is going to be kind of weird, and sometimes we're going to have Togetic being a meat shield for Mega Medicham. Like, that is actually very compelling as a centerpiece. And I'm assuming the Gouging Fire is going to be really reliable with like a sunny day to do photosynthesis with Dragon Dance. If you just throw out Gouging Fire and Mega Medicham, like, you might be able to deal with one of them, but like both of these guys are independent problem. And Mega Medicham's got Fake Out. What if we Fake Out Dragon Dance and then we just start killing from there? So I do think, like, if we look away from Whimsicott as the centerpiece and we look at like solid offense as the centerpiece, I think this team has really good sources of that.
Yeah, how do you know, Jordan, you're a Ting Lu enjoyer. How do you think this is a Ting Lu team, or is it a team with Ting Lu? I feel like there's a difference.
Well, every team is a Ting Lu team because the mon is stupid and overpowered. So, like, yeah. So, is the team like I said? What you want to be able to play at different tempos with Ting Lu. You have the ability to snarl everything in existence because you're Ting Lu. But you also, like, Ting Lu just two shots whatever it wants because, like, it's got 110 ground stab. So I think it's kind of good. Like, we have a physical bias, which helps with Ting Lu. It might help Mega Medicham live a hit. Yeah, so I'm going to say it's a good Ting Lu team, but also all teams are good Ting Lu teams.
Another polarizing mon I'm looking at is the Zoroark Hisui. Is it just fun, or is it good?
I mean, we got fighting weaknesses we like to act as. We got ghost weaknesses. We would love to just steal a turn when they think they're targeting Mega Medicham.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And
it's a mascot pick that I think is a pretty good fit here. Like, it means that Whimsicott doesn't need to come in every match, and you can still have a speed option. You can have an Icy Wind. You can have other stuff like that.
I think I'm looking at this team and I like the first four. I think they really strong mons, and I think those four have a lot on their plate on this team. The second half is a little lacking to me. I feel like the Togetic, the Togedemaru, the Crab is like okay in Trick Room. River Room is pretty good. Like I don't know, like none of these mons are standing out to me where it's like, oh yeah, like that team is filling like an obvious hole here. I feel like a lot of them are very passive, and this team may struggle for damage if there's a lot of prep that go into those top four, maybe five with Empoleon. I don't know.
You pointed out, like, look at how they spent their points. So yeah, like these last 7 do not look like at the power level we're expecting.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
But some of these for the points are pretty good bargains, but I think this was kind of a little bit reckless spending. But I'm gonna say I'm a believer in it. Like, yeah, like this is really weird to have 3 steel types, to have like Crabominable as like one of your more important offensive pieces, to have a River Room here, like very unclear what it's doing. But it might show up. It's gonna be. I'm gonna say that the team functions better than you might expect, but it's not as good as some of the other teams.
I think the Trick Room is awkward on this team because like on one hand you have Ting Lu that can like live through Trick Room and operate under it, right? But on the other hand, it's like this team is never voluntarily operating under Trick Room, I don't think. Like you have Whimsicott that gets it as like a surprise gotcha, like, oh, it's Trick Room time. But like you're not clicking on a Metacam because you want to click your attacks. And then you have a Lunatone at the end, right? Like this, and I feel like if I'm prepping against this team, I want to go under Trick Room if I have mons that I feel like can deal with the Ting Lu. So definitely this team might struggle with the speed game.
But Ting Lu is a very good Trick Room defense. Not only being good speed wise, but just slowing the game down.
Can live through it,
as a Trick Room counter. I think that's like it's not actually gonna struggle with like whether it goes first or not. It's gonna struggle with like is it a little bit too obvious where the offense comes from? And if you double up, then they might just be stuck with Empoleon or River Room just being like not quite the power level we want it to be.
Yeah, or Follow Me Togetic pulling attacks away from Whimsicott or something that just has like a random move.
That would be very bad. Like but Rock, you will not end up in that situation. But in the meanwhile, I'm thinking this is around Forest team in the low side of B for me.
Yeah, I have it at like the middle to top of B for me, right around Forest team.
Remind myself of this one. Yeah.
I think I like it.
I think I like Rock's team a little better than Forest's team.
I like Forest a little better. I'm gonna put it in lower B. Pretty good though. I mean, listen, these are all great teams because there's so many options on this board.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be overwhelming to team build. Like just
yeah.
You should think. Don't be reactive. But that would be my advice to everyone: is like don't think you can cover for 11 great Pokemon because you can't. Start with I ask the questions here. I'm gonna start with my strongest attacker and I'm gonna give it a choice band or a choice scarf, and then you ask the questions, and therefore you won't have to know what your opponent's gonna be doing.
This is why you draft big numbers. You think later. You get the numbers.
Xurkitree.
Yeah. Hey, another big number. How about Raging Bolt's a big number. Look at that
Pretty good.
Special attack stat.
New coach.
I love this team. Told me it's very good.
This is a cool team. I like the start, and then you just grab the Sunsetter later, and all of a sudden we have a really good looking Sun team. I like that the Mega Venusaur can Sleep Powder Chlorophyll before it Megas, right? And then and then hit the Mega button and just be really oppressive in its own way. I like that the Raging Bolt, the Charizard, like all these things that also take advantage of that Sun in the back. Landorus is just a really nice special attacker to have. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty expensive on this board, actually. 18. It's a lot. But it's really good. And you probably want to Terra it a lot of the time. Sheer Force is just really strong.
A little bit from dynamic speed in a way that it didn't back in the day, right? You could have your it would have been like Megazard Y next to a Mega Venusaur, and you have the option of megaing either one. You know, you can set your Sun and keep your Venusaur as like a Sleep Powder Mon with Chlorophyll, or you could boost it up. You know, you can Mega the Venusaur in those situations. You have the Thick Fat. You have an unkillable Mega Venusaur with these 80, 123, 120 defenses. Ninetales not quite a Mega Charizard Y, but potentially doing some good stuff there. I like this little, we've got some good Trick Room stuff going on potentially, with Mega Venusaur, maybe not with Mega Venusaur, but good supports in Porygon and Clefable. Scraggy, not to be slept on. We put respect on its name here in the VBL for sure. And then you just have the extremely scary attack stats of Raging Bolt and Landorus, and the Conkeldurr to a degree as well. 140. It is the highest single number on the whole team, but it takes more work to get it going with that.
I feel like every mod on this team gets value besides the Dracloak. Like some of these other teams we're looking at where people went top heavy.
Team bad. What did you do? Why did you do that? Why did you?
What? Wait! I'm about to say something, but I'll let Tsukaba say. Yeah, this team does have tank. Yeah,
it's like this feels like a better use of those like value picks because I can see the value they're adding. Like Conk is giving you really strong Trick Room mode, and Clefable is providing Follow Me support sometimes, and the Charizard is solar power sometimes it's setting Tailwind. Like the Scraggy's coming to be disruptive sometimes. Like everything here makes sense. Whereas some of the other teams we're gonna look at where it's like, yeah, you picked like 5 really strong mon that synergize, and then you got a bunch of junk. Like this is a hard team to prep for.
And
say for the sake of argument that Ninetales is trash. It's not. It's not completely trash, and this team will get benefit from the sun. But if you actually don't focus on that too much, look at these 4 and Clefable and Scraggy. This is a balanced team. This is a bulky team that operates really well at surviving with Porygon 2 recover spam and Clefable follow me and intimidate and Raging Bolt being a tank. And look at Mega Venusaur's numbers plus weakness spread. Like as a thick fought grass Pokemon, this mod doesn't die to much at all. Like this team is really, really flexible. It does not get blown up. It does not get O-code, and it sometimes boosts its numbers with Sun. So I think if you see Sun as like a secondary damage boosting option, this team's actually a really durable, varied team. And Landorus. Like Landorus, sure Force Earth Power is plenty of offense. So I don't feel like this team's lacking on any side of things, on variety, on power, on defense, on synergy. This might be the best team of the division. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I'm pretty high on this team. It might crack S tier for me just because of how difficult. Like if I'm looking at this team in prep, I'm terrified. Like you prep so hard for the Sun mode and then it doesn't even come and you just get pwned by like Porygon, Conkeldurr, Trick Room nonsense. You know what I mean? Like it's really tough.
20 years.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back. That's how you know we're old here.
So we were talking.
Yeah, team's real good though.
We were talking about like the way the lower points were spent, right? Like the non-premier members of Rock's team, right? We've got this, 7-point Empoleon, 8-point Togedemaru, 8-point Togetic, 5 and 4 points Rivermoon Crabominable.
Yeah.
Take a look at we've got Charizard at 7, Clefable as the double-digit point piece.
Gyarados at 8.
9 to
Conk at 9 is good.
Gyarados at 8. Like, I just think Nibbles did a good job of going into those mid and higher low tiers and just pulling, just extracting maximum value from a lot of this stuff.
Exploiting an exploitable tier list.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There was so much.
So I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of the tiering. That's not a thing that I pay super close attention to. Why is Mega Venusaur 10 points? Maybe I need to do a pass next time.
We just let Jace do whatever he wants, and Jace just wants he wants there to be bargains. He wants to encourage people not to draft Chen Pao, and so I think he goes too far. But we get the point. The point is the teams end up really fun and really chaotic and versatile.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
That's cool.
And you need the right team for Mega Venusaur, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the same thing we were saying about all the other megas, right? You have a grass poison type that needs Sun to really get the full value out of because you want to be taking advantage of that chlorophyll before it megas. It's not like a plug and play at 10 points. I think this is a team that benefits greatly from the value pick there. But I mean, you said it. I think the best teams we're going to see in this league that we do these rankings for are going to be the ones that found the excellent Pokemon in 8 to 9 range, in that like 6 to 10 range. Like instead of drafting like a bunch of supportive crap like Togedemaru. No offense to that mon, but I think these are the teams that we're gonna end up ranking higher. So S tier for me. I think I like this a lot.
I think this team's really good. Des Moines Dusclops. I like it too. I think it's my top tier, my top team in Koko.
Excited to talk more Pokemon with y'all after an intermission. Next division has all 4 Tapus. Let's go.
Ooh, that's gonna get spicy. Spicy time.
We'll see you back for the next one. Peace.
All right.